Welcome to Kellie's News You Can Use, a podcast dedicated to healthcare information. Hi, and welcome to Kellie's News You Can Use. Today, I have a special guest, Kellie Johnson from GoMo Travel. And Kellie is the founder and CEO of this very unique service. Welcome, Kellie.
Thank you, Kellie. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure. I was lucky enough to be introduced to Kellie through Kim Alley. You had met Kim at an event earlier this year, correct?
Yes, I was able to meet Kim, who was so instrumental in connecting me with so many fabulous networking folks in the area. So I was very fortunate to have connected with you as well, Kellie.
It's fantastic. So when we met, I learned about this great service that you have. Can you just give us a little background on your education and what inspired you to start this business?
Well, I started GoMo Travel, which is an assisted travel business, after a major life event. So I've been a registered nurse for 35 years, and I was working in spine surgery, selling spine implants to neurosurgeons for about 17 years. And as I was aging, I looked around and I realized that there were no 50-year-old female sales reps, in that industry. And I thought I was going to actually age out of my job. So I went to business school in my 40s and obtained my executive MBA and was trying to decide what business I wanted to own. I wanted to control my own destiny. So I was waiting to figure that out when I stumbled upon the fact that my father who raised me was not my biological father. And I went in search of my biological father, and when I found him, he had dementia and he wasn't able to travel alone. And I recalled seeing so many seniors in airports that were afraid and felt isolated and felt alone. And so I remembered once I met my father who had that scenario, and then realizing that all of my life I had witnessed seniors in airports that felt alone. And it was this light bulb moment. And I thought I should start a business to help people to travel, people who need a little bit of assistance to travel. And that could open up so many doors for them and opportunities to connect with family and friends. And so that's what made me start the business.
Wonderful. But I think when we talked, what I also find very different about your company, GoMo Travel, is a lot of times services will send a CNA or a home health aide. You offer very specialized, and can you talk through that and the staff that would go with someone to travel?
Mhm. Sure. So all of our travel companions are registered nurses. So not only do they have this medical background for any type of medical emergency that could occur, they also have extensive travel experience. So this isn't somebody that just happens to maybe be, a home health aide or a caregiver that is going to then be also thrust into the scenario where so many dynamics of uncertainties with travel. We actually have registered nurses with extensive travel experience to provide really that uh, all encompassing safety aspect to travel, which is the logistics of travel. We all know what it feels like to be in an airport and your flight is canceled. These are our folks that have handled that situation in the past and then also have that medical training and background as well.
Wonderful. Um, so the other part when I was reading your collateral is you help with the logistics of everything. What exactly does that mean?
Well, I think that's a really important part of what we do. So we're a concierge style assisted travel. So when somebody calls, every time the phone rings, the need is different. So when somebody calls and say they're looking to do this or that, we take that information and create a a trip based on what their needs are. So everybody's different. So some people may want just assistance to travel in the airport. Others may want assistance throughout a country. So for example, we helped a woman who wanted to trace her roots in Switzerland and wanted to go to all of the places her grandfather had been. And so
Oh,
we
wow.
were in 10 hotels in 12 days in the country of Switzerland. She was in a wheelchair, and so we were able to help her to accomplish that goal. So somebody like that who needs extensive travel
Mhm.
concierge services is a little bit different than somebody that's maybe just looking to connect with their family in California for the holidays. So when the phone rings, whatever the scenario is that they're looking for help, we try to accommodate that.
That's wonderful. Very, so you go outside of the United States with
Mhm.
this service.
Yes, we've been to 14 countries and all throughout the United States. We currently have 12 registered nurse travel companions throughout the United States, but we are doubling our footprint this year. So by the end of 2026, we hope to have 50 travel companions throughout the United States. And what that does, it just helps to expedite and trips. It helps to keep the cost down when we have nurses in certain cities. So it's definitely our goal to expand this service to help more people.
Wonderful. The other part that I found interesting, and I hope you can explain, is you have a relocation service. And walk me through what exactly that entails.
Yeah, so we have several national partnerships with senior placement organizations, senior housing organizations. And so it's the majority of our business. I mean, so it's such a common need. So we live in Florida, right? So a lot of seniors will come to Florida to retire, and they may live here a wonderful 20 vibrant years, right? But then they may start to decline and have mobility concerns or cognitive concerns. And the family's looking to get them back closer to them, to their homes, wherever that may be, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, wherever. And they're looking to get them back closer to them so that they can help care for them and they can manage their care and not from a distance. And so we do a lot of relocation assistance anywhere in the United States, and they can be, the travelers then can be completely immobile, and we have assistive devices. Our nurses travel with their own wheelchairs. We can do more extensive relocation services with our nursing travel companions and do door-to-door assistance. And it's more common than you would think, where the families need help. Maybe they have dementia, maybe they're incontinent, maybe they, just they're wheelchair bound, and the family just needs help getting them to where they need to go. And we can offer that level of service as well.
Wow, that's fantastic. So, how long has GoMo Travel been in business?
Well, we've been in business nearly 7 years. In March, now it will be 7 years. And our growth trajectory is great, and we're excited to be able to help so many families. That our name Gomo, a lot of people kind of wonder why is it called Gomo Travel? Well, it's a play on the acronym FOMO. So FOMO stands for the fear of missing out. And we didn't want seniors to have FOMO and have that fear of missing out. We wanted them to go more. So there's no FOMO with GOMO. They can go more. So that's how we got our name nearly 7 years ago. And like I said, we're growing now and just helping more and more people and families.
That's fantastic. And what I'm excited about, on top of you doing Kelly's News You Can Use podcast, you will be joining Krista in our coffee chat in March here at the John Knox campus, correct?
Correct. And we're really excited about that. We want people to realize that they don't have to trade safety for freedom. There can be both. You can have that freedom to go, but still travel safely. And we want to eliminate that fear of maybe of isolationism and separation that people don't have with their families because they're afraid to travel. We want to connect people and places and provide that human connection to wherever their soul wants to be. And so it's a wonderful opportunity for us at John Knox Village to share our services with your residents. And it says a lot about your community, really being forward thinking. How can we help people to continue to travel? And so we're excited for the opportunity.
Well, we're excited to have you. And I think it's such a great service. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I want people to also understand it may not be a mobility issue, correct? What if somebody has a cardiac issue or blood pressure issue or diabetes and they're worried about traveling? Is that also a service that you could provide to those individuals?
Well, the travelers that we help have to be medically stable. So we don't
Okay.
become their medical provider. As you can imagine, there would be so much information that we would have to be able to continue, this continuity of care to be their medical provider. So they have to be stable, but we can help. We know the signs and symptoms of things to look for, right? That could be a crisis situation. So we can monitor for that. We can help with medication reminders. We can't do advanced things like administering IVs and tube feedings and insulin. We're not their provider in that scenario, but we can certainly offer medication reminders and offer the best environment for them to have to travel safely.
Fantastic. Glad you cleared that up so everyone understands that as well. So with that being said, can you share with us the best way to reach you? Phone number, email, what is that?
There are so many ways to contact us. First of all, our website has a plethora of information. It's a very good, thorough website and different ways to reach us through the website. So our website is gomotravel.com. Then another way to reach us is our email, which is info@gomotravel.com. And then, of course, our telephone numbers, I think you said they'd be on the screen and provided for the viewers. But they can just call us at 904-395-7500 directly.
Wonderful. That'll be great. So I really thank you for your time to give us a quick synopsis of your wonderful service. And like I said, we're delighted to have you come back in March with Krista to talk face to face with our residents at the coffee chat. So thank you so much, Kellie. I really, really look forward to continuing, providing services for our residents here at John Knox.
Well, thank you for having me again, and we're excited and ready to help.
Well, till next time, everyone, thank you for joining Kellie's News You Can Use.